and we talk about voiceover and
We
drink
do.
coffee and all kinds
I
of
love
fun,
your
exciting
dad
things.
joke mug.
We were just talking about the heat's coming. The heat's coming. Don't know
This
where
is
you
an
are, but where we are,
understatement.
it's
So the East Coast, like, it's really from,
ugh.
like, the middle of the country. It's from, like, Kansas all the way over is gonna be under, like, crazy intense heat, and humidity caca for, like, the
Oh,
next 2
yo,
weeks.
good
So,
gracious.
yeah.
Not fun, but listen, it is fun to have you here with us.
Yeah.
So, welcome. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button, like this video if you do. Also, please leave a comment. We love to hear where you're from. Love to see all the people all over the world say hello, check in. And as always, leave a question. We love answering your questions. And we often take questions and use them for the next day. For
Mhm.
example, we had a really cool question yesterday come in right at the end, and we
We
were
missed it. We, like,
signing off and we missed it like just in a split moment. So the question is, and I don't have it to put up because for whatever reason I can't do it, but I can read it, and it was from Dylan. All right. And Dylan had said, quick question about hourly rates. When I voice YouTube channels, I charge by the minute, $1.50 to $2. And it comes out to typically $90 to $120 an hour.
Mhm.
Should I be charging hourly with a 1 hour minimum?
Mm. Mhm.
What do you think, Gabby?
Yes. Yes, always, yes, because I don't wanna work for $5, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like in the, the I feel like I agree with you, like, that's a, a decent rate if you're, up in that $80 an hour neighborhood, like, that's cool,
Oh, yeah.
but, yeah, some clients will take advantage of that or
Oh,
will
yeah.
try to just nitpick you down to the minute, and I'm like, "No, man, like, there's a minimum that threshold
Oh,
has to
absolutely.
be met." Um
I like to think about perfect. I think this is a perfect example. When you call out an electrician, a plumber,
Yes.
any person who does service, right? And this is a listen, it's chapped my backside because there are moments where I will call them out and they would literally be here for 5 minutes
Yep,
because I was a dope and did not know what I was doing. But they still charge a minimum for coming out.
they do.
Do
The
you know what I
joys
mean?
of
No matter how
homeownership.
long they're here or not. So,
Mhm.
that's not a new thing. That's
No.
how it's done.
And then it's
So,
how it's
yeah.
done, pretty much anywhere. So
Mhm.
yes, there should never be you should never feel bad about charging a minimum. I had a really weird one the other day. I had a client come back to me. It was a couple of years since I had done a job for them, and they were
Uh-huh.
like, "We just need to change a piece of information in this commercial that you did for us." And I'm like, "Okay,
Okay.
cool." So, of course, they were, I don't know, they were wanting kind of a deal, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Look," I'm like, "That commercial is old enough. It's a full re-record.
Right.
There's no
Oh, I know
just
what yes,
yeah,
yes,
there's no just pop the audio in, like, I don't even
yes.
have it anymore." And I was like, "So unfortunately,
Well,
it's
and
a
it won't ever sound
re-record."
the same.
And no, it
No.
wouldn't. I'm like, "It's a full re-record at full
Right.
fare. Sorry."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me a bunch too. Like, after a couple years, and they people
Mhm.
think that it's you just like a few words will sound magically the same, and I mean, like that never happens.
No. Oh, and this was the really funny part. They were like, "Okay, that's fine." And then all they did was send me the updated line. And I had to reply back and I was like, I need the full script." I was like, "I'm not translating this. I'm so sorry." Right? Like I'm not going to sit
Right.
there and transcribe the audio. Like you need to get it to
Oh, I
me.
love the ones who are like, "You remember it?"
I don't remember what I
No.
did yesterday.
I'm
Never
like,
mind your
"What are
stuff.
you talking
Yeah.
about?" Um,
Anyway,
yes.
so today, we were going to talk about cultivating your own voiceover clients.
Yes.
Kind of a
Yes.
yeah, little launch off from what we were talking about yesterday with inflation.
Yes.
Oh, it's a fun topic.
Um, so I think that over the years with direct marketing, I think
Mhm.
going directly to clients, so much has changed.
Yes.
And so much, and it was funny because I was just in a meeting with another student from Video Journey Academy before this. We were talking about the over the years, the best practices that have been put out for marketers
Mm,
to email and to
mhm,
try to get people. And so many of those best practices have caused that saying marketers mess up everything.
mm.
And meaning like, like for example, right now I don't know what is the deal, but I nonstop get text messages from businesses
The
marketing to me. I'm like,
unsolicited.
stop
Yeah, yeah,
texting me.
yeah.
And it's not even they're like, hey Anthony, it was good talking to you because we met. Like they we no, I don't even know any of these
Nope,
people
none of them.
at all, and they're texting me, and I'm like, I don't even want to check my like I'm like report
Yeah, for
report.
sure.
And it's like, so with that being said, the reason why I bring this up is because I think that, and this is an interesting, and maybe this is totally just cuckoo, and Gabby, you can tell me what your thoughts on this.
I like
But every time that I've tried to do a campaign where I have gone, and I'm talking about right now, direct emailing people,
Mhm,
and I have tried to build a automated sequence and a drip sequence around
mhm,
it,
mhm,
it's
mhm.
failed.
Mm.
And but the times that I have, and it's funny because it was a realization I had, the times that I have, um, and again, this could just be my kookiness, I don't know, but
Mm-mm.
it's something I'm realizing, I think now finally. When I send direct messages myself,
Mhm.
then I'm following up myself, not through another company, because remember, we don't know. I mean, even the readers can't tell exactly what's going into
No,
spam,
no.
right? I always get such better results when I am doing it not on an auto or like an auto reply or like because the whole typical, you send out an email to someone 3 days later, if they don't respond, you send another one, 1 day or 2 days later, you send a third one. And if it's not a third one, you put them on a list to send in a month or two again. Like that's like a thing that's just been done over and over
Mhm,
and over again.
mhm,
But the
mhm.
problem is all the campaigns I've ever run that way, they just don't seem to really generate
Mm.
any real results. Me personally, maybe Gabby's like it works for me all the time. I don't know,
So,
but for me, it doesn't.
no, so this is fascinating. So, okay, I go all the way back to, like, oh, back in the day. I mean, back in the day,
Right.
in advertising, back in the 1900s, Jesus. Right? Love that we can do that.
I could
Um,
only wear a dress.
right?
That's what you.
Ay, ay, ay. No, no, I always wore pants. Thank you very
I
much. But
love
anyway,
it.
so back in the 1900s, I worked in advertising. We did a ton of mail campaigns, right? Mail campaigns were big business. Postcard mailers, rack card mailers, mailers. And mailers had, and this was what was crazy for the amount of money that's invested in them and still is to some extent, they have a 1% rate of return. 1 freaking percent.
Mm,
That's
mm.
mind-boggling.
Mhm.
So that, I mean, it's crazy town. But why do you do it? You do it because it's the repetition. The repetition in the long haul leads to familiarity and makes people think they know your company and that you're more reputable as a result. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's why mailers
Hmm.
had longevity, but the actual individual mailer itself, 1% rate of return. It was deduced about 20 years ago that email marketing had a similar rate of return. However, I think that number has significantly lowered
I agree.
because we are so bombarded, right? You don't go to your mailbox to 100 pieces of mail every day,
Mm-mm.
but you sure as shit do in your inbox.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
It's
mean, it's a non
nothing.
by
Yeah,
lunch.
right. It's
By lunch.
nothing to have a couple of hundred
Yes.
email, especially when you're in business,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
it
It's a
never
mess.
ends. Somebody's always trying to sell you something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so people have become really, really jaded about unsolicited messaging.
Yes.
So yes, drip sequences are a lot less effective than they used to be because really, okay, what's the purpose of a drip sequence? For most of us, it's to get a client to agree to further communication.
Right.
It is ultimately to get them to subscribe
Mhm.
or to get them to, well, yeah, that's like, be on my mailing list kind of thing. and give me permission to communicate with you further. So what do? You send 1, 2, 3 messages, and the third message is always something like, I don't want to be that
Right.
person. So if
No,
you
it's a
don't want to hear
just in
from me
case you didn't
anymore,
see them before.
it's like, ay, ay, ay. Yeah,
I don't want to be that
yeah.
person,
But
but I am.
but I am. Um, so those tactics, yeah, they're not efficient. They're not doing it. But I
Mhm.
always say for voiceover, I make it a goal. My mission, sales approach.
Right.
It's about making a connection,
Mhm.
not making a sale with those communications. I want people to see me as a partner,
Mhm.
not somebody who's trying to get their money.
No, I totally agree. Well, we have at Via Journey CAD, we were just in our marketing 201 class yesterday, and we had a couple of our students, we because on that class we were working on our direct marketing campaigns, and we had two of them come back yesterday, and they had in like 70 emails, both had gotten multiple responses, both had gotten a job.
Mm,
And that was very exciting
yeah.
for them, you know what I mean? But one thing we noticed again is that in this particular one, we were not doing it auto. It was not on auto. They manually sent the emails, and then they manually followed up. And
Mm,
it was not a. And again, I'm really big on it because I've done a lot. I've done like it all, and some I've tried like everything. I'm sure you have too, right? Like we all try everything. And it's just, like for example, in your social media, Hootsuite, the different
mhm,
companies that will publish
mhm,
for you. We also
mhm.
have to be aware, right? There's a lot of like Google and a lot of these other places too that are hired to stop what we're trying to do. So, I
Mhm.
always wonder sometimes if it literally, some of it simply is a lot of our stuff isn't even getting through.
No, it's not. I have people tell me all the time, like folks that know me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, your email just ended up in my spam box." And I'm like, "Yep, because I sent a mailer last week." So surprise, surprise. Yeah. So a couple of things in the chat that are
Oh yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Javier said, with that said, how far is too far in regard to reaching out to your clients? Hmm.
Hmm.
How far is too
That's
far?
good. So, I mean, I think, when you're talking about, so there again, that's that age old thing, right? We don't want to be pests. We don't want to be sitting there emailing them every single
Mm-hmm.
day or, calling them every single day and so forth. But at the same time, I will point out that, this is nothing against anyone else, right? But there's so much on our minds. I will also forget you
Mm-hmm.
unless there's some way to, you know, keep up on a somewhat regular
Mm-hmm.
basis.
Mm-hmm.
So probably, to me, I like to do it within a couple of weeks, maybe a month if you want to go as far as a month when you're following up with someone,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully getting them on your list. I mean, the idea when you first reaching out, you're trying to reach out
Yeah.
if it's cold,
Yeah.
right? So you're going to be doing that within a few days to try to get a reach out. But once that happens, the age old idea or how it's from, right, is that it goes on to our warm list or our continual biweekly or monthly
Right.
email where we say, hey, I'm still alive, just so you know, in case you need something, I'm here breathing, right, on that kind of list, right.
Still
uh,
voicing, still rocking that microphone.
still still over here. So there, that's and the overarching theme, right? That's what we're trying to do, is to get familiarity with these people. So that has to be done, but doing that too regularly, people are just going to be turned off because
Mhm.
they're like, this is too much.
Mhm. There's also something to be said for relevance, right?
Mm,
What is relevant to a voiceover buyer? And often I find voice actors tend to have a wee bit of diarrhea of the mouth when it comes to their written text, right? They want to say so many things. They want to get so many ideas across. And it's like, instead, you have to make it bite size and
hmm
you have to make it tiny and spread it out so that you're not bombarding people with some massive thing. Like, I look at it this way, the longest email that I get every single day is my daily headlines from the Washington Post.
mm,
And it's massive, right?
hmm
Because it's like 7 or 8 articles that are the top for the day.
Right.
But I want that.
Right.
I
Right.
want that, right? What
Right.
what is a voiceover actor going to ramble on about for several scrolls?
Mm. I mean, that's a
Nothing I care about. Yeah.
and I think people can sniff that out too when you're trying so
Yeah.
hard. And then the worst thing at the moment using, ChatGPT to write something in that sense.
Ooh,
Don't
this is a
forget,
good
we
thought.
all talk about we can sniff it out.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, analyzing data and stuff with that, but you've got in this particular case, it's got to come from you, I think.
I like the idea of starting an idea with
Yes.
ChatGPT or
Yes.
similar. I like the idea of taking an email that you've written and putting it into ChatGPT and seeing what it does to maybe zhuzh it up. But yes,
Mhm.
there are some very obvious things
Oh
that
yeah.
that the AIs do and say that just gets a little bit
Mhm.
goobery, and we have to sort of pluck through it. So,
Oh,
okay.
absolutely. Melissa said something here too. I think
Mm,
said you were practicing what you preach because you were doing this every morning at 9 a.m. Thank you, and it builds consistency and trust. I could. They're right. I mean, consistency and trust. Right. You build trust through that consistency.
yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Speaking
Totally.
of speaking of, just because I love Melissa so much, Melissa
Mhm.
Harlow, everybody, she is with Volunteer Voice Over. She's the
Yes.
founder, and I'm a huge supporter, huge fan of what she's doing. Basically, she matches up and she's created this lovely platform to help nonprofits and charities find voice actors.
Mm.
And it's beautiful and it's a way to give back, and it's a way to give back in a way that is structured and not simply
Yes.
you just giving it away.
And
Um,
also, and I want to point out about it too, is that it's not easy. I mean, I give her
mhm.
so many prompts. You would think it would be easier to get people. I mean, companies,
Yes,
right? To do, but it's
it's
just
not.
matching and building the relationships.
Hmm.
About what we're talking here. It's a challenge,
It is. It
So I give
really,
her really
really
big
is.
props.
Yeah.
So good, yeah, good deal. And we love having you, Melissa, here every day. Thank you.
Um, so so in the interest of right cultivating your own clients, because we're gonna talk about this for multiple days.
Oh yeah.
Um, what do you think? Let's break down maybe some of the common right elements of this.
Oh,
What
we
do
have
you
some questions too.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
to hell with what I was saying.
What?
Let's go.
No, I was like, we got questions. Gabby, we got questions.
Let's do the
Yes.
question.
Okay, we do have. Okay, so Maya asked, how do you gain confidence in your voice so you're able to practice well?
Oh, well,
I love it.
okay.
That was a
Yeah.
sideball right there.
That came out of left field. You do it, you do it, you do it, you do it some more. Um, here's the roller coaster ride that I love of the confidence building and acclimation to your own voice. It works like this. This is a really fun pattern, right? You start off in this industry and you're somewhere here and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a lot of confidence. I kind of suck, but I think I have some potential, right? And so you're very questioning like your skill set. And then somewhere not long after that, you go, I love my voice and I am amazing and I am going to be the best voice actor in the whole world. Okay. And then somebody or something knocks you off of that peg and you plummet all the way back down, sub level to, I hate my voice. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I ever believe that I could do this for a living? And then you come back up and you plateau. You
Mm,
find this middle ground
mm,
where you just sort of stop caring.
mm.
And I know it
Yeah.
sounds weird, but when you stop caring, right, about how you sound and you stop caring about what other people think of how you sound, you
Oh yeah.
start booking.
I had that moment and I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was narrating and doing audiobooks because I did a
Mhm.
lot of audiobooks when I first started. And every time I got in front of my microphone, I always felt like this huge weight was on my shoulders because I felt like I had to come up. I didn't know how to just which is so I didn't know how to just talk in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
That's at least that's what was in my mind. And which is so funny because I had done
Wild.
so much throughout my career as a performer, but it was something different. And that's why I came up with the mile of crap between my mouth and the microphone.
Mhm.
But I got to a point where I just finally said, I just want to feel okay, like just fine. I just want to talk and be okay.
Mhm.
I mean, I can remember the moment. I can remember how I was sitting, everything, and what I did was literally, I know this, but I was like, I don't care. It's so funny that you brought that up. I have to act like I don't care and just talk. And
Mhm.
then I ended up subsequently started my podcast,
Yeah.
and the continuous talking, it really does make a difference. That's why I like audiobooks, even if you're not necessarily into the money per se.
Yes.
It gets you to, it forces you to talk out loud reading a script in front of a microphone.
And play yourself back.
Right. Right.
That's really it. I mean, if I didn't spend a bajillion hours in radio hearing myself and playing myself back, I don't know that I would have had that success because in voice acting, because honestly, I was already sort of like, meh, whatever, when it came to hearing myself.
Yes.
So I think that that's a big part of it. So yes, it's record and play back, record and play back, record and play back. Yep.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got one last question here. I've been having trouble getting notification of your live feed. This is unacceptable, and we need to fix it for you. All right. Professor Tracy, we are here. Now, I believe if the first place to check, right, is once you subscribe, you also have to go and make sure that the bell notification is turned on, and it is also clicked to all.
The little
So
bell.
that's so it's like almost three different things you have to do that YouTube, sneaky YouTube makes you do. Okay. So you should though, if those are going on and you're not being notified, I don't know. We'll have to dig deeper, but hopefully that's
Yeah.
it. Hopefully that's but just so you know, we go live every single day
Noon.
at noon Eastern,
9 a.m.
9 a.m. West Coast.
Yep.
So
Yep. So yeah.
Monday through Friday.
Yep. Yep.
You all were awesome today.
Thank you guys.
Yes, wonderful,
So
wonderful.
we'll continue the
Mhm.
conversation tomorrow about cultivating clients and
Yes,
about some of the how-tos and some of the methods we use.
absolutely.
Mm.
All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.